Hello everyone, and today I saw Kingsman, The Secret Service, and this movie has gotten a very low lisp of sound around me because I've seen a few people talk about this movie online, and they said it was really good. So I checked it out for myself, and I was just like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I did some more research of it, and the director is Matthew Vaughn. And Matthew Vaughn brought me some of my favorite modern superhero films, X-Men First Class and Kick-Ass. And when I saw that this director had these two films under his belt, and going to this film, it made me this more excited. I got really excited to see this film, and overall, I'm just going to say it straight out, this film was not disappointing. I actually really damn enjoyed the film. A ton, and I mean a ton. This film was just amazing. Now, basically, the story of this film is basically like, it's the story of Kingsman. It's basically an old, almost like throwback, again, kind of like old veiny, like type of tribute to the old James Bond type of films, which it definitely does have a feel of James Bond. Type of old type of espionage thriller that has of a feel at times, which I thought was really great. And it was a type of a wonderful homage in his own ideal respect for his own sake, and building it up, almost like having that set up of the rise, and almost like reflecting what those other films had for it. You know, if you know the old James Bond movies inside and out, then you may find this film a little bit predictable, and I somewhat know of those, but throwing that aside, this movie was amazing. It was just great as hell. First off, the cast, and I have the cast right here on the internet. I'm just going to review some of the actors. Alright, the cast. We have Colin Firth as Harry Hart, Samuel L. Jackson as the villain Valentine, Michael Caine as Arthur. You have Taron Egerton as the main character, Gary Eggsy Oldman, and you also have this type of female side villain named Gazelle, and she's basically played by Sofia Boutella, and she's also really great. And you also have some other really familiar faces like Mark Strong, and I'm gonna say it right now because this movie's not getting that much. Even though this is a main review, this is also gonna be I'm gonna give you some spoilers in here. So title will say spoilers. Is that there's two cameos in this film. The first one is Mark Hamill, and if you don't know who that is, first off, shame on you. He is Luke Skywalker from Star Wars Episodes 4 through 6. And he's in this film for probably a total of 15 minutes, but every scene he's in is absolutely priceless. And he is just a fantastic person to watch. He just plays this very odd, very weakish type of character, and he's so fun to watch. And there's also a special appearance by Tim Roth at some point. I'm like, oh cool, okay, that's fine. When it's given, he's kind of like William H. Macy in John Wick, where he doesn't get so much time on the screen, but it's you really do love the fact that you get to see him. It's better to have him a little bit than to not have him at all. And I thought it was great, and with Matthew Vaughn at the fingertips of this film, with X-Men Days of Future Past and Kick-Ass, is that one of the things he can do very well is having the younger cast balance out with the older cast, and I thought that was same thing done with these two films, and that was just spectacular. The dialogue just came off so authentic, so real, and just so sweet, sincere and thorough. And of course, like in Kick-Ass, like I said before, it has Mark Strong, which he's also in this film, and I thought that was it seems the same thing with Bryan Singer in X-Men Days of Future Past. He's bringing back old cast members he knows about, the new ones that he doesn't really know about. It's just the big balance of having that old, new, and experienced and well-known type of cast, and I love that. It gives the director a lot more authenticity and a lot more of an emotional core and a bit more of a genuine performance of the characters and the actors in the movie, and that was very, very well done. Now, my favorite character is probably the main character. Let's get this back up. My favorite character is probably the character of Eggsy. And I'm saying, like, when I saw the trailers for this movie of the main character Eggsy in this film, from the trailer itself, I'm just like, he looks very bland. Like, he just has that blank, average Joe type of look face for him. I'm just like, he's not gonna be so good in this movie. Man, was I wrong. He is fun. He is just outlandish. He is an absolute rebel. He plays both sides of the laws. I love this type of character. He really reminds me of someone like me. Like, he knows how to. He's very, in the bad word, he's very, in a weird way to say it, he's very much like an instigator, which I honestly kind of am like that too. But just like this kid I know when I leave someone alone. But I really love the kid, and he was definitely my favorite character in the movie. And holy shit, the action scenes were phenomenal. Two scenes are also not two of my favorite action scenes. Are also two of my favorite scenes. Is that my favorite scene? Well, not my favorite, but two favorite scenes is. The first one is when they were falling off an airplane. Like, whenever the camera would be looking down at them, falling out of the airplane, I'm like, okay, fine, you can kind of tell they're falling and there's a bomb. But I'm not joking. Every time it showed a straight shot at them falling, or even looking up, it was a real shot of them actually free falling, because it actually was. It was real footage, and I kind of can say that's a bit of a weak point within the film, because I felt like whenever the camera angles would move around, it felt like a different tone every time. It was like looking down, it was a bit more obvious like a movie, but looking up, it was like super realistic. Like, wow, it really. I'm not saying it took me out of the moment, but it was much more immersive and much more realistic. Looking down, I'm just like, okay, fine. But looking up or looking straight at them is like, whoa, it's like real shots of them actually free falling from a plane in actual midair. And for me, as someone who has a deep fear of heights, I literally could not breathe at that scene. I'm just like I was really I wouldn't say creeped out, but I was just really taken on my own breath by those moments, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And the other scene I'm going to tell you about is a scene about 20-30 minutes near the end, where there's this complete full-on attack in a church in the U.S. And when they go into I think they're in Tennessee or somewhere in the southern parts of the U.S. But there's a scene where Colin Firth's character attacks a bunch of people in a church, and it is one of the most well choreographed fights I may have ever seen. It's like, sure, it would cut away to Samuel L. Jackson's character as a villain. He's like, oh god, I can look at the violence, look away. And it's like every time it would just come back to the scene with him fighting inside the church, the camera doesn't do multiple takes. It's just one continuous long take, and that adds authenticity and realism to the fight. It doesn't come across so clearly poorly choreographed. No. It really looks very slick, very authentic, very, very real feel to it, and I love that. And the action scene in that church was just unbelievable. Like, that scene alone is worth the price of admission. And also, the omission of adding Freebird by Leonard Skinner in that scene was pitch perfect. I couldn't. If Matthew Vaughn was watching this, I'm just saying, dude, that's a stroke of genius right there. Just adding Freebird in that scene was just too surreal and yet unbelievably amazing. I loved that moment alone. That was definitely worth the price of admission alone. And no, I'm not giving away so much right now. Like, you can tell I love this film. I really do. I have a few problems. Is that number one? It's kind of very hard to talk about my problems with this film because my first problem is that there's some points in the middle where you're just like, no. It shows at some point there's something established with some other side characters, and you're just like, where did that come from? Well, I felt like where did that come from? That came totally out of nowhere. I understand that stuff does happen, but add a bit more authenticity to it, or add a lot more believability to those moments where it says something like this happened to a character. Like the character, I forgot a pivotal amount of information, and that is for the main character becoming Kingsman, he has to go up against a bunch of other people, and at some point it's like established that some people didn't make it. I'm just like, oh, the real reality of it. And for me, I know this may be rude, but you just don't simply say that. I'm sorry, but this is a film. It's a movie, show, don't tell, okay? And granted, those moments like that can hit you hard like a harpoon, but A, those are side characters, and B, I couldn't care less about them. So there's moments where it's just like, these other side people, like, something happened to them, I'm just like, I don't really feel the impact that really needed. And then there's like, I think there's 3 or 4 build up. There's a point near the end, like the 35-40 minute point, I'm just like, it should be over by now, right? Right? And it went on. It went on for another 30 minutes, and I'm just like, that point was probably the hour and a half point because the film is 2 hours. I'm not joking, it kind of feels a bit longer. This is my other complaint. It feels a bit too long, like by the end, or like the beginning of the end. For me at least, it felt really stretched. Like, build up, and there's like empty space of something happening. I'm just like, granted it has its importance in the film, but I could have gone without it, to be honest. And I felt like something there could have been left, or just it should have been shorter. I'm saying the beginning for the end, for me at least, really drew out, and it kind of just pulled my. Oh my god, it's so hard to say it. I'm sorry, it's very difficult. The best way to describe that was like, okay, for me that was like the moment I'm like, okay, I may as well just eat my popcorn. It's kind of this, I wouldn't say it's filler, but I just couldn't care less at those moments. And there's like the beginning for the end, for me at least, overall, I was kind of bored with, like, I wouldn't say I was bored, but I was just like, I was really taken out because it felt long. Like, it genuinely felt long-winded. That's the thing I'm trying to say. It felt a little bit long-winded at times, at the parts of the beginning of the end. I know I just rumbled on there for like a whole minute and a half, but I really couldn't find the right words, and I just said it, so yeah, me. But overall, I still loved the film. Do I have any problems with it? Do I have any problems with the film? Of course I do. But the problems with the film are easily beaten by the good things. And there's a freaking lot of good things. The performances are strong. The action is unbelievable. The dialogue is fantastic. The comedy is great. The script writing is brilliant. The ideas and the tributes and the idealistics of what's going on within the film is clearly established and well made and really, really respectful and homaging, like all James Bond type of films. And also, I gotta say, there's some moments in the film where I gotta say it actually felt like it was kind of ripping. I wouldn't say it's ripping off, but there's some moments where I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's kind of like, I remember feeling that type of moments within X-Men First Class or some of the old James Bond. Is that a problem? Not really, because I can't blame him. I can't blame the director for taking things from other films and yet respect and homage to those. So in the end, Kingsman, seriously underrated. And it's not gaining enough money. And I mean it. This movie is freaking awesome. Check it out. I highly recommend it. In the end, I'm gonna give Kingsman. Shit, buttons. Come on, done right here. I'm gonna give Kingsman Secret Service. I'm gonna give it. For me right now, it's between an 85 and a 90%. I'll give it right now an 88%. That's my rating. An 88%. I really loved it, and hopefully, because recently the films right now aren't so great, like Jupiter Ascending, 50 Shades, Sounds Soon, and many others. Yada yada. You get it right now, and thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this review. Me rambling on about this movie. Me absolutely loving it. Nothing more to say, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the future for more movie reviews. I'm out.